This is a proper top 10 list? I've never played any of these games. I don't even know what any of them are like. It's just going to be... Hey, Daniel, why'd you put that game on the top of your list? What's good about it? No idea. Never played it before. See what happens. This is a weird idea of a proper top 10. This is a nightmare. So I said to the bartender...
Stop it! Stop it!
Hey, Dad, buddy. Sorry, I wasn't going to do that. Then you delayed so long, I thought I had to.
What's happening, party people? Welcome to Bunch More Party. My name is Daniel. This is Father Greg. And we are doing a top 10 board game list of games we have never played. And so what is this list? What's it all about? So mainly, these are games that we haven't played, but have been kind of on our radar for a very long time, or maybe not a very long time, but for a decent amount of time, where we think that if we played these games, they would end up really high on our top 100 list. Like, they make the 100 list, and either the top 50. Like, these are games that we're pretty sure, based on what they're bringing to the table, they just line up with, as we mentioned in a previous video, our tastes. You know, right. You're going to kind of come together and converge. So, what do you think about this list? What was kind of your preparation process?
Probably not nearly as elaborate as yours. These are games that I would say are on my wish list, but I've never played them either because they're really hard to find. Maybe they're sold out right now. Maybe they're older games. Just games that the theme really intrigues me. I'd love to play all 10 of these games. I don't know if they, guaranteed be in my top 100, but
right.
The theme really intrigues me. You're going to get a little bit of an insight into the types of games or themes that at least initially attract me.
Right. Yeah, no, so it's going to be a weird list.
Right.
You're going to get a good vibe for what attracts us in the hobby. Sure. And it's a scary thought. Okay, I'll kick us off. My number 10 is a Stefan Feld game.
Okay.
Merlin. Yeah, so wow. Merlin is kind of Stefan Feld's roll and move game. You roll dice, and then you're able to kind of select, I think, one of those dice out of the two or something for how many spaces you move around this kind of rondelle situation. Right. And then there's all sorts of things that get activated based on where your meeple lands off on. And so people really complained about this game that's roll and move, but I love Jamaica, and Jamaica is essentially roll and move with a bit of a twist. So I feel like this core mechanism of kind of choosing which die will be your die that determines how your guy goes around. I latch onto a core mechanism, and I also love the art style that this game is into, and that always draws me. It just looks like kind of boring Euro style here.
I was gonna say, I've seen a copy of this box, and the art is not impressive.
Yeah, but it's it tells you I'm a boring Euro.
That's right.
Play me.
There must be something better underneath the cover.
That's right. But yeah, I love when Stefan Feld kind of goes off a little bit and gets a little experimental with his design. So I think that I would really enjoy Merlin if I got a chance to play it. People say that you need to get the King Arthur expansion for it to be worth its salt. I don't know. I tend to like base games as they are anyway. So we'll see, party people.
Cool. My number 10 is a game that is not sold out. I could go and buy it at the store today if I wanted to. But this game terrifies me. And so it's for that reason that I've never managed to actually get it to the table. And this is A Feast for Odin.
Wow, yes.
So this is a game that I think if I played, I would enjoy. I give away Rosenberg a hard time. I think if I did play this game, I would enjoy it. But it's just scary, man. It sounds like the choice of 80 possible tiles and you have to choose which ones to buy is just a daunting prospect. And then combine it with you're trying to create this little polyomino pattern shape in front of you, and you're probably trying to feed people and nonsense. This game scares me, but I'm sure that if I did play it, I would really enjoy it.
Yeah, this was on my short list.
Okay.
It didn't make the final list, but it was on there, and it was just the intimidation factor is so huge, but kind of confusing compared to the positive comments that this game gets. This game gets a lot of comments that are it's not as bad as it looks. And so I really want to like believe that.
Right.
And hope that that's the case for this. So yeah, I'm really interested in this as well. Okay, my number 9 is a weirdo. I mentioned it during our top 10 designers, but this is Lords of Zidit. So this is in that Seasons universe, and this is a programming game. And so essentially you kind of program your movement to go along these routes on these boards, and there's different monsters or creatures to fight, and there's these kind of castles that you can put your influence tokens in. And so it's this blind area control essentially, where at the end of the game you like lift up a little plastic castle and you count the number of influence tokens are in there. Right. So you don't necessarily know as the game goes on.
A little bit of El Grande going on.
A little bit.
Okay.
And so it just brings, and just a really colorful art design. It just brings a lot of quirky, weird things together that I think that I would really enjoy. When programming is done well, I really, really, really enjoy it. When there's enough control, but then also you still have the fun factor of, whoa, where am I going? So I really think that this would land really high for me if I got this played.
Right on. Mine's a little bit of a weird one too, and there might be a few strange choices. This apparently was funded on Kickstarter. I didn't know. I don't think I was back in any Kickstarters back in 2015, but apparently other people were. And this is Bring Out Your Dad.
What?
So,
What is this?
So this is a game that takes place during like the Black Plague.
Okay.
And you've got this gravedigger that comes to pick up all the dead bodies.
Okay.
But he only picks up like the first ones that are like in line. And so like whatever's left he just throws into the river because he doesn't have time for this. But you want to like create like the best like plot for your families to be buried in. And so you want to make sure that like so there's like a little bit of like kind of like moving your guys around in order and like making sure that you can get like, I don't know, your parents next to each other, like in, adjacent graves or something. Really like morbid.
Like sort of a guillotine situation?
A little bit. Like
I think cards to move the line, do you know?
I think maybe more like Council of Four, sort of like you're kind of like putting guys in and like moving sort of moving things around and like but I also like where they end up, like they kind of end up in like this grid. Yeah. And so you want to kind of like even like Imhotep, where like you've got the palace or whatever, where like you have to make sure all your cubes are touching. Yes. Kind of like something like that that sort of occurs. So
sounds way better than the title.
yeah, but it's just like it has like a really like kind of morose, like macabre theme.
Yes.
But I just something about this game. I was like, that sounds delightful. I would love to play this.
That's hilarious. Okay, this list is gonna be weirder than I thought. Okay, my number 8 is a Phil Walker Harding game. This is Gizmos.
Okay.
So I don't know a whole lot about Gizmos. I know that there's a bunch of marbles, and that's fun. Didn't need to have that in the game. but basically, like all I heard was this was like a Splendor with marbles. And so it's kind of your simple engine building where you got these inventions that you're trying to create. And again, as we do these rules descriptions, we don't know what we're talking about.
That's right. We've never played these games, in case you haven't.
So this is just, you can gauge how much information we actually think we need before we want a game.
That's right.
Because I don't really know what's going on in Gizmos. It just looks like you're drafting marbles, trying to collect the right amount of resources and things to create your inventions, to score points, and that the inventions that you create aid you in collecting more marbles and these kind of things. So it looks like a really nice family weight design that I think I get to the table quite often. And it's just been out of print for a while, so that increases my desire.
It does have this has like an attractive look. I think if I saw this on just a board game shelf, I would too be interested in like just sort of picking it up. And my next, I've mentioned Concordia is one of my favorite games, and yet it's the only game by Matt Gertz that I've ever played.
Okay.
And so along that list of games that I really want to play by Matt Gertz is Hamburgum.
Hamburgum? That's not
the game you were thinking, was it?
No.
But Hamburgum sounds like a delight. This is in my box. If you're talking about Merlin as the boring hero,
right? Yes.
You look at this picture of a church in the background with some guy who's possibly a cleric, possibly a judge. I don't know. He's a German guy.
Yes.
Sitting on the front cover, and you're trying to get money, and you're trying to use that money to build churches, apparently, and house Protestant refugees or something.
Wow.
Sounds great.
Yes, I want to do that.
And I just really want to play some Hamburgum. Sounds delightful.
My number 7 is one that you definitely have played and you like a lot. This is The Magnificent. So again, this just draws me just kind of like dice worker placement sort of thing going on. The polyomino side of the game is what sort of always kind of catches me up, where I'm like, I know I enjoy this game, but I also have to wrestle with polyominoes if I'm going to play this. But I love the side of this game where there's a rondelle situation, there's dice manipulation going on, and just the theme is so unique with this kind of like mystical circus.
Right.
This falls into a category of games where I love this designer, this design team. I just love them based on how I think I'm going to love their games. And The Magnificent is one of those games for sure.
I should bring this game. I should borrow it from Father Dad and bring it down and
please
play
do.
it. Because I think the polyomino, it's an element. It's not a major or like really difficult element.
Right.
It's not like really tough to get, but it's just like if you create a nice little compact thing where all your pieces fit together nicely, you'll score a few more like extra points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
In the list of Matt Gertz games that I want to play, this is the game that you were probably thinking of, and that is Navigador.
Okay. Weird curveball. Navigador, that's about right.
Right. So Navigador is another game that, I think I played. The first time I heard about Navigador was when I was playing Clans of Caledonia, which is a game that I really, really enjoy, by a designer who like has only designed like one game in his whole life. Juma El Juju is his name. And but in the rule book for Clans of Caledonia, he credits Navigador as being one of the inspirations for Clans of Caledonia. Yes, exactly. He says he got the market idea from Navigador. So I was like, oh, dude, I want to play Navigador. And then I found out it was by Matt Gertz, who also designed Concordia. I was like, now I really want to play Navigador.
Yeah, Navigador is solid.
I've just never gotten around to it. So.
Yeah, no. We got to get that played.
Cool.
One day at Dave's. Okay, my number 6. This is an early Paolo Mori design. This is Vasco da Gama.
Oh my gosh.
So this is my, again, a lot of these games are going to get on my list for just looking, boring Euro. And this is one of them. You got these, 4 big pictures of these just kind of white men.
Right.
There's a friar, there's a king, there's a merchant, and there's someone else or whatever, and you're influencing these guys. So basically you just got a bunch of influence discs putting on the board. But the cool thing is you put your discs out on the board, and when you put them out, you also choose a kind of turn order disc to put on top of your action disc. And you have to sort of pay additional money depending on which turn order disc you take. Once everyone selects their actions, then you flip over a tile, and it's going to kind of give you a ratio of which action tokens are going to be free to play and which ones are going to cost more money to play. So you're kind of hedging your bets on how early you go and based on if you're going to be able to afford to go if you choose that action. So this is a really cool way to do kind of worker placement action selection.
Right.
And I'm mainly intrigued by this box cut.
It's true. Isn't this game Tom Vasel threw up a roof though or something?
Yes. And then also that I resist Tom Vasel. This is part of the reason too.
Proof I'm wrong.
That's right.
Wow.
It's super hard to find.
Right.
Yeah. And my love for Dogs of War contributes to me wanting to play this because I believe in Paolo Mori.
Right. Cool. So in the macabre sort of sense of theme,
you sick man.
It's true. This is a game about a French tavern in which guests show up and you rob them blind and possibly kill them and murder them and bury them somewhere.
Sure.
Waiting until the police show up and then you have to pay off some undertaker to bury the bodies or something. This sounds like one of my favorite themes. This is
what?
This is for me along Last Will, Prodigal's Club, just weird themes that just skyrocket to the top of my list.
Yeah.
And this is the Bloody Inn.
Yeah.
And I have never played this, and I really, really want to.
You are a sick man.
I just think I would have so much fun playing a game about robbing people blind at an inn. That just sounds delightful.
Hopefully, because it's so far removed from what you would normally do in life.
Sure, yeah, definitely. It's definitely not what I do as a moonlighter in the middle of the dark.
This is a game for me that the theme has actually kept me away from.
Okay.
I'm just I don't know if I can enjoy that theme. I don't know. But hey, all right, number 5 for me, a game that you enjoy a lot, Shakespeare. Shakespeare has this awesome kind of action selection mechanism where before you kind of place your workers out, you're going to bid for turn order based on the fewest action tokens that you
Right.
put in your palm. And so just that core mechanism and the art aesthetic in this game, those two things together make me know, without shadow of a doubt, that I would love this game. Even if you have to do some weird set design thing.
Right.
I think that getting your actors in and clothing them, and oh yeah, this game is like a shoe-in for me.
It is a good game. That bidding is like infuriating. Oh man, it's just like it's so bad when you just
That's what
get,
I like to hear.
When you get one action and the other person bids like 5, and you're like, oh shoot.
Yes.
But yeah, it is a good game. I like a good abstract strategy game, Daniel.
Okay.
And one abstract strategy game that has been on my list, it hasn't been around that long, although maybe it's been around a few years now. And this game is Showbu.
Oh,
So this is like a wooden game, and it's got little like Mancala type of like black and white pieces, like little stones, and it's got a rope. I don't know what the heck the rope does, but like the game, like this game just looks so interesting to me. Like this is like
you use it to do a buckshot lariat.
that's right.
It's a wrestling game, obviously.
Yeah, I know you're trying to move the little like your little tokens, but you want to like move your opponent's tokens as well, and you want to try to get them like off of the rope, like across the the rope line or whatever. It just looks like just a very abstract strategy game, but a really kind of classic, simple, elegant design. And so this is a game that's been on my want to play for some time.
Yeah, that looks good. My number 4 is a Richard Garfield game. This is Bunny Kingdom.
Oh my.
All right, so I love me card drafting. This got card drafting. I love me weird grids. This is a weird grid where you basically have a bunch of cards that correspond to different grid spaces, and the board looks busy. Where you're placing little bunny meeples onto towers and things and trying to gain influence and majorities in places. Don't know exactly how that all plays out or works, but I am here for a game about bunnies waging war in a kingdom.
Great. If you ever play that game, I think I have promo cards for it.
Okay, sweet.
I think I backed like a Dice Tower Kickstarter or something, and it came with like a bunch of Bunny Kingdom promo cards.
Okay, great.
My next one, I think you have played this game. I know Father Dan has for sure. And this is Lorenzo Il Magnifico.
Yeah.
Cool. So Simone Luciani, kind of a big designer choice. Cranio is another like company that I really enjoy. So this is, once again, just like a Euro game with like a fair bit going on, but a game that I just feel like I would really enjoy. Just from like looking at the aesthetic and the designers and everything that's involved in it.
Yeah, it's crunchy. It got that like hard decision space where you're like, I want that, but I don't have the money for that. Do I wait and get money or do I? But it's good. It's good.
Cool.
It definitely it's almost like too difficult for me, so it kind of like falls off the radar for me. Where I'm like, good decision. Like when someone says good, crunchy decision making. When I say that, I mean one thing. When other people say
that's
that,
right.
I mean a different thing. And this is in that different thing category.
Right.
I think all right, my number 3. Navigador, baby!
There's a Navigador you haven't played?
That's right.
Wow.
This is Steam time! Choo-choo!
What?
Steam time.
Sorry, what?
So this is, it has the kind of agesia, we call it a ratcheting mechanism.
Yep.
Where there's, and I think you can I think they're variable in the game, but so you can put them in any order, but then you're like moving your little airship. It's like a steampunk airship that you're moving up to do different actions, collect certain resources, and basically it's kind of a refinement engine that you're building, where you're turning this resource into that resource, and then you're gaining like the help of inventors throughout history and time to help you do these things better. And Tom Vassell really loved this when it first came out, and it didn't gain any traction. It kind of fell under the radar, and it was almost like it was in my shopping cart many, many, many times, and just got beat out over and over again. But now I know that I made a terrible mistake.
Have you ever wanted to be an owner of a Roman toilet?
No.
Oh, well, I have many a time. And if you have, the game Pecunia Nonalette sounds like a hot blast. This.
Who are you? What is this?
This is a game where you run a Roman latrine, and so they translate so money doesn't stink, and so basically you have all these patrons coming and they want to like use the toilets, but you have to like plan on like where they're going to sit. Like the women all want to go to the bathroom together. The rich don't want to sit next to like the poor slaves.
Okay.
So you have to like find like how you're gonna, but like they're gonna pay you more money maybe.
Right.
Different people might give you different bonuses if they come into your toilet, but you have to but you can also give some people to your opponent as well.
Okay.
So like if I have some useless customers, I can be like, here, you go over to his toilets. They're way better.
Right.
And then they wait in line for you, and you're trying to just serve the most guests, and each guest has their own little particular thing that like needs to be like ordered in the right, so like a little bit of a puzzle kind of a thing.
It sounds fun. It sounds very similar to that Bury Your Dead game.
That's right. It has
you just love this like
it has an image of like a Roman guy sitting on a toilet with his pants pulled down around his ankles on the front cover, which just seems delightful.
All right, so my number 2 is Champions of Midgard. Okay, so I love Lords of Waterdeep. I love Stone Age. Champions of Midgard came along where it was like Lords of Waterdeep was the Stone Age killer, and then Champions of Midgard was Lords of Waterdeep killer. I want all 3 of them. I want all 3 of them in my collection, and I want this to happen. So what really draws me to Champions of Midgard is this whole idea of your workers are dice, and you send them out on adventures, and you have to go over the sea, and there's these monsters that you have to battle and fight, but you're not guaranteed to be able to fulfill the requirements.
Because you're rolling dice.
Because you're rolling dice. So it has that Stone Age thing for going out and conquesting. But then there's more solid ground where you can just place people out and get the resources that you need to kind of firm up for that adventure. And there's like 2 different areas that you can go, and there's cards that are the monsters that you battle out, and you collect these cards. And I just think it looks fantastic. It looks just like those other 2 games, and I just want more of that. I need more of that. I think I really enjoy it. It's just been a long time coming.
Right.
Got to get this in my cart. Got to press pay or whatever you press.
Right. Check out, baby.
Check out, baby.
My next one, I think you have also played this game. This is the Grand Austria Hotel.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is another
really
classic.
In that family with Lorenzo and Magnifico. Pretty much a very similar game. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I just have never played this, but this
I
is
had
like
it
a
set
game.
out on your table.
Really?
We just didn't get around to playing.
Darn. So this is like if I look at like the top 100 games or something, like I just see this game talked about all the time. I know almost nothing about it. I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I don't think a single rule or anything about it.
Right.
But it's just a game that I just feel like this game has been talked about so much that I should play this, and if I did, I think I would enjoy it.
Yeah, main thing is that there's a bunch of different actions that correspond to dice pips.
Okay.
And you roll a bunch of dice.
Cool.
And then you put those dice and correspond them to the actions.
Right.
And then that's how powerful that action is if you draft that die. So you get to do that action with that die and do that thing that many times as there are dice there.
Cool.
So it's a cool little way to do actions.
Yeah.
All right, party people. My number 1 game I have never played is Monumental by Matthew Dunstan.
Oh my.
All right, so this came and went. It's really hard to find. And this has just one core game mechanism that I just need to play. You have a grid of 9 cards in front of you in a tableau. And on your turn, you choose either one row or one column. And you remove all those cards and you do those 3 things. You do the cards, the actions that are on those cards you remove. And then you draw new cards from your deck and replace them. And so on your turn, you're just going shoo, 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 and doing those actions. And you're replacing them and you're going. And all to a dudes on a map area control situation. So this is like, give me a weird card mechanism, tableau mechanism, give me some area control, dudes on a map. Whoo-wee! Monumental. Oh yeah, man. I can't wait for this to be reprinted or whatever Fun Forge needs to do to get this to my table.
Well, it does sound cool. I think I do remember seeing like the Kickstarter for this back in the day at some point in time or something. Cool. My number 1 game has sort of 2 versions, I guess. An old one, and it was just recently, I think last year, kind of redesigned, re-implemented. And this is by a designer that I really, really enjoy. And this is either Mombasa or Sky Mines.
Oh, okay. One of
those 2. I think, I just love Alexander Pfister. And at the time, whenever I heard Mombasa talked about it, it was always like, this is a really heavy game.
Right.
This is like, there's a lot going on. I was like, okay.
You've matured.
I should probably not play that game. And then I played all the other Alexander Pfisters, and I was like, I need to play Mombasa.
That's right.
And then I heard Mombasa was being like basically redone, but like with like a sci-fi kind of
Yes.
theme. And I was like, excellent. That's let's do it. That's a game that's really, really high on my to-do list.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll come and help you. We're almost done this video, love.
How did you beat those like octopus guys that shoot long balls?
Shoot arrows at them. Shoot electric arrows at them.
Oh, I have electric arrows.
Yes.
Right now.
Close the door. Alright, party people, so there you have it. There is our top 10 games we have never played.
That's right.
Let us know what games are on your list of games you've never played that you really want to get to the table, that you're sure that you would love if you got them to the table. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, share this with your friends. We'd love to have more party people on board. And until next time, party people,
Have a tremendous day.